What's new from Apple? There's the new iPhone 16 Pro, built for Apple Intelligence. And it comes with the all-new camera control, giving you an easier way to quickly access your camera tools. The new Apple Watch Series 10 has our biggest display and our thinnest design ever. And this? It's the sound of active noise cancellation, now available on one of 2 new AirPods 4 models. So quiet. Check out all of the new products and new features at apple.com. You can even buy yourself something new. See apple.com for product availability updates. Apple Intelligence coming this fall.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase? List it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
With Walmart's new fresh and frozen subscriptions, you can save time on your weekly grocery shopping.
Dad, you're supposed to be grocery shopping.
And miss the chance to embarrass you in front of your friends? I subscribe to snacks and wet napkins. You know how messy you are.
Dad!
Walmart. Subscribe to your weekly list.
You see? You're stupid minds. Stupid.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Oh, wow, that is very interesting. Please tell me more.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by 2 really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valves, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic echographic and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in a tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios in beautiful downtown Tukey City, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider. He gives me street cred with the whack alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And my partner in all things, Tacie. Hello, Tacie.
Hello.
Our new executive producer, Liam, will be here in the studio directly. This is a show for people who had never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you've got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call at 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine or at DrScottWM. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything here with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking over with your healthcare provider. Please don't forget stuff.drsteve.com. That's stuff.drsteve.com for all your shopping needs. Really helps keep us going more than just about anything. You can scroll down and you can find the Rhodey robotic tuner. And or you can go to Rhodey, ROADIE.drsteve.com, and they have the Rhodey tuner for guitar, and they've got one for bass, mandolin, other stringed instruments, including banjo. And they also have the Rhodey Coach now, which will actually teach you to play a stringed instrument, so feel free to do that. And go to simplyherbals.net, simplyherbals.net for Dr. Scott's website. Tacie and I do a show on Patreon, patreon.com/Weird Medicine. And my favorite thing to do is Cameo, cameo.com/Weird Medicine, where I'll just say fluid to your mama or do whatever you want me to do. Sometimes it's amusing, sometimes it sucks. But what do you want for, $2 or $5 or whatever it is at the time? Mm-hmm. Don't forget Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And everything going okay over there, Dr. Scott?
Yeah, doing super great.
Okay.
Pretty busy.
Very good. Well, I was trying to stall today because Liam is supposed to be here. He's volunteering for a marketing
Speak of
thing.
the devil.
Oh, there he is. Here, have a seat right there, little buddy.
What's up, dude?
And ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's Liam. First heard on this show when he did this commercial for Ashley Madison. Let me see if I can find it here. Come on now. Where are you?
When my mom is my daddy goes to ashleymadison.com. There he can lots of other women. When I grow up, I'm going to be an Ashley Madison man because my daddy's raising me without any moral compass whatsoever. Ashley Madison, find your lovers here. Why exactly are we singing this? Daddy, what's a rotisserie?
Yay.
Yay. So proud.
Oh, my God. You're on Weird Medicine.
Oh, yes, you are on Weird Medicine. Why is it doing that? I hate Apple Music. It just goes and plays the next thing, whatever it wants to do.
Get your hand off my penis!
Anyway, hello, Mr. Liam.
Hello.
There's your microphone. There you go. You just talk into
good?
it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you're here because this is some assignment for school.
Yes.
You've never shown any interest in being up here ever.
Yeah, I have to do it.
Unless there's money involved, of course.
Well, no, there's never been
No
any
money.
money involved.
I would be up here all the time.
So when we could listen. I need somebody to do some work for me. We could work something out, and I'm happy to pay you. What you got to do though is when you're talking to the mic, you want it to be about a fist distance away. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So what is this assignment exactly?
I have to do a volunteering for a marketing class.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here you go. So here's the camera switcher, and this is for the YouTube channel, and it's all labeled. And the ones that you're interested in are Scott, Steve, and guest camera, which is whenever your mother's talking, you push the guest camera thing.
So when people are talking, just switch it to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the two-shot, like if Scott and I are in a conversation, then you hit the two-shot.
Okay. Do I hit the two-shot and then...
No, all you have to do is just push it.
Okay, so there's no one for mom?
The one for mom is guest camera.
No, I know, but for two-shot, they left you off of that.
I don't even want to be on camera
she's in
at all.
She's in a two-shot with this is fascinating for the listeners, by the way. She's in a two-shot with Dr. Scott.
Okay.
Okay. And you're conveniently out of camera.
Thank you.
Camera range.
Thank you.
We'll fix that for when we do the podcast part. Anyway. All right. So that's all you got to do. So your mother. Okay. So we'll forget Liam's here and we'll just do the show. I won't have to explain. Well, your mother and your Uncle Scott are doing this and that. Well, look at that little feller. He sure is a good.
He's cute, ain't he?
He surely is.
He spit an image of his papa.
There you go.
I hope not. Do you want me to start doing this now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is your job.
Straight A's, ladies and gentlemen.
Straight A's.
Straight A's.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
All right. Okay. Yes. Yes. Your internship begins now. Very good. Okay. Thank you.
It's Tacie's time of topics. A time for Tacie to discuss topics of the day. Not to be confused with Topic Time with Harrison Young, which is copyrighted by Harrison Young and Area 58 Public Access. And now, here's Tacie.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Now would be the time to go to the bathroom if
No.
you need to take a break.
No.
Is it working?
Shut up, dude.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You're fired. Hey, just give him an A and we'll give it an A and then go on.
Okay. You get credit for 10 hours. You can just
We'll sign it off. We'll just shake it off.
I just want to know if I'm doing it right.
You are doing it. Yes, you're doing it right. And what you can't do is in the middle of the show just be going, "Is that right? Am I doing it right?"
Sorry.
Yeah, Nene, come on.
Hey, it's like having grandma up here.
It's like the
all
first
over
time
again.
I was doing the news at WRAL TV and I was running the camera and I wanted to be all fancy. And yeah, I was whispering to the director, do you want it like this? Do you want it like this? And he's trying to switch and bring up videos and stuff. He was just like, kid, just shut the fuck up.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. No, so I did the same thing. You're fine. All right, now shut the fuck up.
Okay.
All right, okay. No, it's okay. Go, Tacie.
Okay. A deadly fungal infection is spreading at an alarming rate, CDC says.
Uh-oh. What? Uh-oh. Cordyceps?
A drug-resistant and potentially deadly fungus has been spreading rapidly through U.S. healthcare facilities. A new government study finds the fungus, a type of yeast called Candida auris or C. auris, can cause severe illness in people with weakened immune systems. Have you ever heard of this, Steve?
Yeah, yes. But yeah, it's people who are, 100-year-olds and people like that with really bad
we'll
immune
just see
systems.
what the article says.
Okay, by God, we
the
will.
number of people diagnosed with infections, as well as the number of those who were found through screening to be carrying C. auris, has been rising at an alarming rate since it was first reported. And the U.S. researchers from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported Monday. Especially in the most recent years, it's very concerning to us, the lead author and chief medical officer in the CDC's Mycotic Disease Branch said in an interview. We've seen increases, just not in areas of ongoing transition, but also in new areas. The new warning, published in the Annals?
We know where our head is.
You see, your stupid mind.
I love it.
I couldn't help it. Come as the Mississippi Department of Health is fighting a growing outbreak of the fungus. Since November, at least 12 people have been infected, with 4 potentially associated deaths. There have been ongoing transmission.
4.
2 long-term care facilities.
Out of 350 million people.
Although cases have been identified at several other facilities in the state. Unfortunately, multi-drug-resistant organisms such as C. auris have become more prevalent among our highest-risk individuals.
Right.
Highest risk, which is what you said, Steve.
See, this is what kills me.
Yes, well, if you want other articles,
go ahead. No.
Fuck off.
You're stimulating conversation. That's
You are
the
conversation.
The fungus can be found on the skin and throughout the body. It's
Bitching
not
at you.
a threat
I'm bitching at the
to
reporter.
healthy people, but about 1/3 of people who become sick with C. auris die.
Wait, okay. Say the sentence just before that.
It's not a threat to healthy people.
No,
but about 1/3 of people who become sick with it die.
Correct.
But see, it's being found in these long-term care facilities and stuff. People who are sick. So
in international healthcare facilities, it's gone from an unknown pathogen to a cause of 40% of invasive Candida infection. So this is okay. Yeah, it sounds horrible, right?
Yeah.
Except I can't remember the last time I saw a disseminated Candida infection in the hospital. I know they're there because I don't see all the infectious disease people. Mm-hmm. But in my job, they're the sickest of the sick, and we usually get called in on those. So let's look at 40%.
Well,
of
let
the
me say
incidents.
this sentence first.
Okay.
Before you start your little stuff.
Oh, before I start hosting my show?
Yeah.
Okay.
The number of infections increased by 59% to 756 from 2019 to 2020, and then by an additional 95% to 1,471 in 2021.
Okay, I didn't hear any of that.
Thanks for listening.
I'm sorry, I was looking up something. Okay, in a cohort of 386 patients with positive blood cultures, candidemia, in other words, Candida, is documented in 16 patients, so that's 4%, of whom 2.6% had pure candidemia. So it is... it's not unheard of, obviously. But when you say, it's become 40% of the Candida infections, then what you're saying is it's become 40% of something that is a vanishingly small number of people.
When you weren't listening, the number of infections increased by 59% to 756 from 2019 to 2020.
756 where? What was the...
From 2019 to 2020.
In the United States?
Yes, and then by an additional 95% to 1,471 in 2021.
Okay, so we had 1,000 cases in the... Okay, so it went up. It did increase by a third, right? From 700 to 1,000, something like that.
Well, it says 95%, and I don't do math anymore.
Number of bacteremia. So let's just compare it to bacteremia, because that we see all the time. That's where bacteria colonize blood. Cases in the U.S., right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Come on. It says 45.7 per 100,000 person years. I just want a number. Okay. You don't have to be so damn fancy.
Get to the point.
Okay, overall, an estimated 119,000 cases of just Staph aureus bloodstream infection. So, there's probably 1 million, I'm guessing, of all the different ones, because we see bacteremia every day. So, my point is, no, very good article, very good example of how alarmist the medical journalistic or medical journalism sort of environment is.
Well, the author
because they're out there looking for stuff, Ooh, they're huge increase, a 40% increase, 50%, 100% increase in Canada cases. We're talking about 1,000 cases across the whole country.
Well, the author hopes the paper will put this on healthcare providers' radar and spur facilities to practice good infection control.
And one of the things I read is that the quaternary ammonia compounds that we use to clean surfaces doesn't kill this.
Ooh.
So yeasts are very hardy because they can sporulate, whatever it is. And those spores can live for almost forever.
Wow.
They're little plastic sphery things. And when they're rehydrated, the stupid things come back to life. That's why, think about it. Liam, have you ever made bread? No, of course not.
Yeah, I made bread one time.
Did you?
With you.
With yeast? Do we do it with yeast? Well,
I think so.
If you remember, the yeast comes in a packet and it's a dry powder. And you put it in water and it comes back to life. That's how stupid these things are. They're just so...
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
This article says by its nature it has an extreme ability to survive on surfaces. It can colonize walls, cables, beddings, chairs. We clean everything with bleach and UV light.
Yeah. Yep.
But it also says, if you've watched The Last of Us, don't think we're all going to die, because this is just for really sick patients.
Right. That's why I said it's not cordyceps that's jumped to humans. No. But, Candida is normal part of skin. You have Candida on you right now. I don't know if you have Candida auris or you have Candida albicans for sure. Yeast infections, vaginal yeast infections, are Candida albicans, which just means, white. So it makes a white discharge. I think that's what albican stands for, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
Albicans meaning, yeah. It's got to be. It makes white discharge. Yeah. So these things are everywhere. We live with them constantly. Yeah, it comes from the Latin word white. So appears white when cultured on a plate or when cultured in a vagina. There you go, Mr. Liam. So now you learned something. So anyway, so I'm very interested in this. I think it is an example of alarmism in medical journalism. They're just looking for stuff to increase over time, and then, there's this relative risk versus absolute risk.
Well, I think, when the article said just put it on everybody's radar.
Yeah. Yeah. C. auris has reportedly never been isolated from the natural environment. Does not seem to have been, a common colonizer of humans before 2009. More research is needed to understand where in the environment C. auris lives and why it began affecting humans only recently. Now, that is interesting. Has someone been playing around in the laboratory again?
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh, yay.
Will you guys stop with that, please?
Quit messing with that shit.
It's from my fridge.
It's from Liam's fridge.
That's probably true.
Actually, your fridge, I cleaned out Liam's refrigerator. He asked me to do it as a favor, just what was that, for your birthday or something?
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
Oh, it was terrible, bro.
No, it was messy. It was full of stuff, and there were 20 unopened or half-eaten things of like cheese dip, but none of them were moldy. There wasn't anything gross in there. The thing that cracked me up, and I put this on Twitter too, was even he had water in there that was out of date. How do you have water that goes out of date?
Oh, God.
Consumed by 2019.
I opened my mini fridge, and there was one from 2017 in there. It said, drink by 2017.
Such is the life of a college student. Anyway, hey, well, while we got you here, Liam is getting his degree in sports psychology. And so, and he has an encyclopedic knowledge of NBA statistics, players. I mean, he's a really good person to have for, say, like a fantasy basketball league. You're doing football too, though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's not your
kinda.
sport. NBA's your thing.
Yeah.
So tell us what we need to watch for with the Memphis Grizzlies this weekend. Nothing.
No. Don't watch.
Don't watch? Why not?
It's evil basketball.
Why? Oh, because they disappoint you constantly?
Yeah.
I was
terrible.
a Cubs fan, bro. I lived in Chicago, and I was a Cubs fan, so I understand your pain.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Now, we have a wager on the books that the Grizzlies will be the champs at the end of the season, and so we're going to lose that money?
Nah.
No? See, that's a typical Cubs fan, too. They never lose hope that the Cubs somehow will not disappoint
We
them
got
this
10
year.
more games, and then we'll be good again.
Okay, all right.
Because, Ja will be back. Marcus Smart will
Ja
be back.
Rule.
Yeah, Ja Rule's coming back. I hope.
Okay.
And then Luke Kennard will be back. You don't want me to go through the whole IR.
No, not the whole thing. Give us a couple of...
there you go. All our good players will be back by then.
Okay.
Hopefully. And then we'll finally be not 3-11. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see how we're going to...
And our other bet on the Scoot Henderson Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Not happening.
Not happening.
Okay.
He was terrible. And alongside him being terrible, he got hurt for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it's already done, probably.
All right. Well, the lesson you're going to learn from this is don't bet.
Yeah.
I bet on agendas, though. Yeah. That was my agenda.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I had an agenda.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't. Wagering is stupid. So if you learn nothing else than that, because I have a really good friend who has a really, really good job in entertainment and almost lost it all with trying to get even gambling. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem, is you lose one that you knew you were going to get, it's that first time that you hit and all of your bets and you go, oh, I got this.
Yeah, I figured this out.
And you get that rush. And then you lose a big one, and then you're trying to get even again, and don't get even. Mm-mm. Just go to the next one. You can't do that. It's like the dice. We'll talk for a minute about craps, for example.
Right.
The dice have no memory, so if you can never say that you are on a streak. You can only ever say that you were on a streak, because streaks do happen. You can roll 7. 10 times in a row. But that just because you rolled it 10 times in a row doesn't mean the 11th time it's more likely to be something else. It's just as likely to be a 7, which is 1 in 6. There's 6 ways to roll a dice with 36 combinations of way to roll a 7. That's why, craps is that way. I used to teach casino gambling, and one of the fallacies that I see is people are thinking, well, this number hadn't come up. It's due to come up. It's like, nope. It really does not work that way. And if you win the Powerball, you're just as likely to win it the next week as you were the last week, which is pretty bloody unlikely.
Yep.
And if you ever want to, if you think, well, if I just keep playing the Powerball, I'll win. It's true. Somebody wins eventually. But I've heard the description, and I like this a lot because it's good when you take pennies and you stretch them from New York to L.A. on the road, and there's a road, and then you take one of those pennies and you paint it blue. And then the odds of you winning, just on one bet, obviously, if you bet 10 times, it's 10 times that, is the same as driving from New York to L.A., stopping, picking up a penny, flipping it over, and it's the one blue one.
Oh, my God.
I know.
That is crazy.
So, but I'll play just because it's fun to think about.
Mm-hmm.
You paid $10, you can afford to lose it. It's not a big deal. And it goes to a good cause, et cetera, et cetera. And every once in a while, somebody, does win that damn thing. Wouldn't that be awesome? I would call my work so fast.
And your children.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, guys.
See you guys.
Oh, shit.
Oh, and Tacie.
I would never stop that, Tace. Never.
See you, Tace.
Would y'all be mad if I dropped out? If I won the Powerball?
What?
Would y'all be mad if I dropped out?
I would think that no, I would understand it, but I think it would be a missed opportunity.
I would drop out 100%.
Would you?
Yeah.
Well, then you'd be
100%.
stupid and rich. Be smart and rich, though.
But I can pursue my dreams.
What,
I could be like
what would that be?
An ancient Greek philosopher.
An ancient Greek philosopher.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would go back in time.
That's what I would spend my funds on.
Time travel.
There
Okay,
you
well
go.
that's true. That makes sense.
Straight A's, guys.
Yeah, I
He's
like
a fucking idiot.
I love it.
Whoops, wait,
Oh,
wrong one.
Steve,
Wrong
for
one.
God's sake.
I am too smart. I am too smart.
I was giving a talk the other day,
Yeah.
and I accidentally, and this was like for a corporate thing, and I accidentally hit my elbow, and it said this.
Can you please stop bullshitting?
That was like, and I hit it real quick, but it was too late. I couldn't stop it. And I tried to blow it off, and I just said, well, I guess someone's got an editorial comment. Anyway, all right.
I love it.
Well, that was a good one, Tace. You got another one? That stimulated some excellent conversation.
No, this was
gonna-
Tacey's one
Topic.
time of topic.
This was Tacey's.
It was a Tacey's time of topic.
Yes.
Topic.
I will be doing that one on my live stream because, I like to take the medical journalism and put it into context. So that's a good one. Thank you.
Well, here you go.
Yep.
Way to go,
And I
Tice.
do think that's fascinating that this is one that people have never seen before that are colonizing people. That is the one, I wouldn't say alarming is the right word, but it's fascinating. We're not used to having new pathogens. I mean, diphtheria, polio, tetanus, those have been around forever. Coronaviruses have been around forever. This is just a new one. But then we've got this yeast.
A new yeast.
I wonder if you can make bread out of it.
Fancy bread.
Yeah, or beer.
That'd be a question for an ancient Greek philosopher.
I could answer that.
Yes, he
I could answer
could.
that.
Okay, but you answer it.
Thank you, Liam. You're the best.
Yeah.
You have to define bread first.
Oh, okay. What
is?
What is reality?
What is bread really bread?
And is bread a part of reality? And if so, then
What's reality? Though?
correct? Yeah. Yeah. Is that,
Oh,
yeah?
my.
So are you Platonic or the other guy, Socratean? Whatever.
So, typically,
yeah,
I'm Socratean.
really.
That's how you do the conversation.
Yes.
You go down the line, you have to define everything.
Right,
before
and you ask questions.
Yeah.
But Plato believed that that there was a reality to like perfect shapes, mathematical things, and we were discovering them, right?
Yeah.
And then, it was Plato versus Aristotle, and Aristotle was like, no, these are all inventions of humans to describe the world.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And Plato had
Plato was
that,
the cave analogy, right?
Yeah, and Plato had that weird understanding of the human mind. I don't exactly remember what it was because I took that class like 2 years ago now. But it was like your head is a circle.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm spitballing here, but your head's a circle, and everything that has ever existed is inside that circle or something. I don't. That's
okay.
That's
I'm
probably
gonna get
completely...
email about this one from.
Oh yeah. I'm sure I'm completely incorrect.
I know that for a while there, one of the cosmologic theories was that all of the planets fit into shells that were defined by the Platonic solids.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
And that circle and square and pyramid and tetrahedron and all this stuff, which would be a pyramid. But and then it was when they discovered something beyond Saturn that it all fell apart. It was just a quinky dink.
Hey,
Tacie
Scott,
wants us to move on.
Are you bored?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, I was just taking a nap.
We can talk. Okay. All right.
Number one thing,
medical question?
Don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
Named Tacie.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase? List it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
With Walmart's new fresh and frozen subscriptions, you can save time on your weekly grocery shopping.
Dad, you're supposed to be grocery shopping.
And miss the chance to embarrass you in front of your friends? I subscribe to snacks and wet napkins. You know how messy you are.
Dad!
Walmart. Subscribe to your weekly list.
Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
Pasajeros a bordo, bienvenidos al Friskies Express. Por favor, mantengan sus patitas y colitas dentro del tren. A su derecha verán Crunch Canyon. A la izquierda, Philly Falls. Ahora pasamos al Pico Party Mix. Hoy el tour delicioso está por terminar, pero no hay problema porque con Friskies siempre hay algo más para explorar. Ve a friskies.com para explorar más.
I shouldn't listen to Clyde when it comes to that stuff, though.
Clyde?
Yeah, because he was the one telling me about that, and I was like,
no,
that's interesting. But
I mean, Clyde's a nice guy, but he's not the one. We love Clyde too, but he's not exactly the one that should be, explaining Platonic solids to you.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, okay, but anyway. All right.
Hello, folks. I hope everybody's doing good.
Hello, my friend.
Scott. And the Fluid family. Hope everybody's good there. Got a little bit of a question here. If somebody was to get, let's say, a finger amputated off in a motor vehicle accident or an arm or something such as that, when they go to reattach that, how in the world do they know what nerves go back to what severed ends? It's not like a nerve has a color-coded zip tie or a label on it.
No, but they do line up, though. And listen, we're still not very good at this.
If you know which side the fingernail's on, you can flip it that way.
Correct.
That'll help you.
Yes. Yeah, you can reorient the thing based on just the anatomy. Right. Now, if it's a crush injury, a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's got to be sliced, and even then, it's very difficult.
Or like a degloving where you've got the skin ripped off. That's a little more challenging.
The worst thing, and so it's a challenge. It's microsurgery. They just have to line the parts up, and we're still in the very rudimentary stages of this. I mean, I'm not aware that people's arms are being reattached after being cut off. I'm not aware of that. Are you aware of that?
Well, the thing is, what I was going to say is that the nerves are one thing. The vascular component is a little more important. Get the vascular component.
Correct. Well, to make it live.
Right. So it lives first, and then if they're lucky, then they may get some nerve function back because those peripheral nerves can be really challenging to get to wake back up sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's if you have great surgeons and you get to them really quickly. You still don't know what they're going to do. But yeah, I guess it depends on the injury, Dr. Steve. If it's a rip or tear versus or crush injury versus a sharp saw or something that's cut an arm where it's a little bit more easily identifiable.
It says here most patients need limb replantation within hours of experiencing traumatic injuries. Depending on the type of injury you have, surgical specialists can replant some severed limbs. The University of Utah apparently specializes in this. So, wow. And that's something. Now, it is amazing how long an arm can go without blood. Because when they do a beer block, they'll put a tourniquet on your arm.
Stop the blood.
And they just stop it. Yeah. And then they operate on you. And then just, it can be an hour, 2 hours later. Then they take the tourniquet off and everything comes back to normal.
Total knees, they'll do that a lot. In some of those total knees, they'll actually put a tourniquet above the knee on the quad.
Yep.
Around the upper leg. And we'll actually
they can have a bloodless field.
Bloodless field, yes, which makes the surgeries easier. But what we see a lot of times is after that, people have a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Where that tourniquet was, the knee surgery is fine. It's just where they had that tourniquet.
It's crushed the nerves that go the nerves
and the muscles and the vascular, everything, the lymph, everything.
Yeah, the nerves tend to run, particularly in the ribs. We'll see that when they'll split ribs. We see it less and less now because they're doing microsurgery when they take out lungs. But they used to cut a slit from end to end in your rib cage between the ribs, and they would put a spreader on the upper rib and the lower rib, and then go crank, and open it up, and they would open. They would just spread the ribs, and it would crush the nerve that was running along the top of the rib, because the artery, vein, and the nerve go together on the top of the rib, and then you can crush them. And when you do that, you end up with a thing called post-thoracotomy pain syndrome. And I started using Botox on that. It works really well. So if you have something like that, send me an email. I'll send you some articles about Botox to those types of pain.
We do it a lot too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing less and less of it. I haven't seen one in quite some time now.
I've actually got 2 right now.
But it is fascinating that you can do these things. But anyway, okay, I had another point I was going to make about the beer blocks, but now I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah. Shit. Well, if I think of it, it'll be.
Hello, Dr. Steve, and I don't know, but hopefully Tacie and Dr. Scott, and God knows who else.
So, Liam, that would be you. You're God knows who else.
The chosen one.
In your cavalcade of contributors. Oh, this is...
Are you remembering to switch the camera?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay.
This is
I don't
Terry,
know if it's doing anything,
a.k.a. the Boodmaster.
Well, it's on me right now.
I did just leave a message for the Patreon thing, and I'm happy to have this go anywhere.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it's this is Terry, and he is a charter member of our Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/weirdmedicine. I put stuff up there that isn't normal. So the live streams go there first. any experimental stuff we do, and then Tacie and I do just a regular Patreon show when we have questions. But anyway,
I have severe migraines. I have a horrible spine, and I have epilepsy. And I recently saw a spine specialist who, I'll just leave him go nameless.
Okay.
From Emory University.
It's a good idea.
Anyway, he was happy to give me Botox injections in my occipital condyles and in that area of my neck. And it's something I've had done before, and I've had some success. But the reason why I'm calling is that my wife, who is a brilliant woman, has a problem with me having Botox injections.
Oh.
Primarily the fact that her mother, God rest her soul, had them done years ago when she was in pain. And my wife feels that it contributed to her mother's loss of her mind. And I just wondered if you could speak to that, because, you know, I don't have much of a mind left anyway, thanks to epilepsy. But
no, that's not true. Terry's.
I know it gave me relief, and I would love to have that relief again without the fear of losing what mind I have left.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, and I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thanks, Terry.
God bless.
Yeah, you too, man. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, but before you
I have
get into
something
the
to say about this,
the
but go
medical
ahead.
the
Yeah.
medical part of it, I see a lot, or we see a lot of patients with headaches and specifically migraines, and treat them with the acupuncture instead of or in addition to Botox treatments. And
Right.
And as a general rule, it works extremely well. And what we've found is that over time, it lessens the need for the frequency of the Botox if that's one of your concerns. And and if you do it correctly, you can stagger these things where you can get really good, depending on the kind of migraines you have, obviously, but you can get some pretty significant pain relief.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And, whatever works.
Yeah,
and
sure.
anything non-pharmacologic, I'm always in favor of. Two things. Botox does have some significant adverse events associated with it if it's given in the doses that they do for migraines. So the neurologist, and you don't go to a cosmetic person for this, you go to a neurologist and they inject a certain place in your head on both sides, and they use lots of units of Botox. Botox is botulinum toxin that comes from the Clostridium species that makes botulism. And microgram per microgram, it is the most toxic substance on Earth that I'm aware of. And we would worry about it being weaponized if it weren't so unstable.
Okay.
Like if you get a vial of Botox and you don't put the saline in just right, you can lose all of it.
Yeah.
So the stuff is really not stable. That's why it hasn't been weaponized, thank God. But you can get botulism from Botox injections. I am not aware of a single case that's ever happened from someone getting Botox from for wrinkles, because they use such small amounts. The max, I think, Tacie, when I was doing it, the max I ever gave anybody was like 30 units.
Yeah.
And
you're very light-handed when you do it.
Right, but judicious with it, and it worked.
Yes.
And you put them in the right place, and it works better.
Correct. The dermatologist will pump, 60 units?
I mean, I have a friend who just had 80 units.
80 units, yeah. And even that is considered a low dose
That
of
could have been
botulism.
Dysport, though. And isn't that kind of like a half dose? I mean,
I don't know.
Don't you have to multiply it by 2?
I wish Chanda were here because I got out of it before Dysport came out. But we still use botulism, just regular, botulinum toxin for therapeutic use. But anyway, here's 86 botulism cases caused by cosmetic injection of botulinum toxin. I just said I'd never heard of anybody getting it from cosmetic injection, and here's 86 of them. It says 86 botulism patients caused by cosmetic injection were enrolled in the study. All the patients were diagnosed according to their history of cosmetic injection. I would love to know how much they got. When was this? Okay, this is a relatively recent study, because when I was doing it at that time, they were telling us there'd never been a case of it. The main symptoms of botulism included a headache, dizziness, insomnia, fatigue, blurred vision, eye-opening difficulty, slurred speech, difficulty swallowing, constipation, and anxiety. They occurred 0 to 36 days after Botox injection, but especially from the 2nd to the 6th day. And I'm trying to see if there was an average number of units that they got. The incidence rate was highest in the people between age 26 and 30, which is sort of interesting. But anywho, okay, here we go. So, yes, if they got less than 100 units, the percentage was 16, but if they got up 200 to 300 units, oh my God, if the incidence was up to 50%. So yes, of course, stop with these monster doses. The regular low doses, I just yanked this up while we were talking, so I need to read further on this particular study, but it looks to me like the lower the dose, again, this is dose dependent, the less the risk. Now, but Terry's not talking about botulism. He's worried about dementia and decline. And so I've got this from Neurochemical Research in 2020. Intramuscular injection of botulinum toxin boosts learning and memory in adult mice in association with enriched circulation of platelets and enhanced density of pyramidal neurons in the hippocampus, which is a place in the brain where information is processed. So I think that's interesting. Botox makes you smarter.
Whoa.
At least in rats.
In rats, yeah.
So I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah.
You don't want to get Botox from it, but if they're, listen, ask them what their incidence is. I'll bet you the neurologist never had a case of it.
Right.
It's still rare even in these higher doses.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, and when I said 50%, it's not 50% of people that had that. It was 50% of the cases that they saw had those higher doses.
Gotcha.
Okay. And they only had 86 referred to them. All right, Terry. I think you can do the Botox. Just understand the risk, benefits, and alternatives. Just understand the correct risks, though. Right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's try this one.
Hey, it's Rowan County.
Yeah, Liam, close your ears on this one.
Redneck. I have a question about PCP.
Oh.
It is like in the morning you might get up and have relations with your bride or whoever it is you have relations with.
Yeah.
And then a couple hours later at work, you have to urinate.
Yes.
And when you do, it feels really good.
Oh.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Great question.
Does it feel really good? I don't know.
When you pee?
Yeah, it feels good when you pee.
Did he say after PCP?
I don't know
and
what the
sex?
I thought it was
PCP part.
Yeah, I was thinking. I thought we were going to have a question about what does PCP do to you.
Yeah, right.
That's a long
Hey,
time.
it's Rowan County Redneck. I have a question about PCP.
PCP. Oh, postcoital pissing.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
I guess.
Postcoital pissing.
I mean,
Why would you say postcoital pissing? You're using the medical term for intercourse, but then saying pissing. It should be PCM, postcoital micturition.
Yes,
very
that's
good,
what I'm
Dr.
thinking
Scott.
about.
Give thyself a bell.
That's what I'm talking about. That'd be a good name for our next band.
Who got that bell there? Because he didn't say that. You said it.
No, he said it. We said it together.
It was a team
whatever.
team bell. That's half for us and none for you, sucker.
That's right. Postcoital micturition.
Yes.
So
whatever.
one thing that happens when you have a big meaty erection is that it cuts it. You can't urinate. It cuts off or it increases the tone of the bladder sphincter, because from an evolutionary standpoint, you don't want to be having intercourse with someone and then bathing their cervix with your semen and then washing it back out again with your urine. It's not the way it's supposed to work. So when you have that big, massive purple throbbing, juicy erectile tissue, then it's very difficult for you to urinate. So I think what's probably happening is he's just got a full bladder, and now the sphincter, the tone has decreased, and it just feels good getting rid of all that urine. I guess, I don't know. I'm not really aware of postcoital much of anything
usually
these days at my age. So
I was going to say usually it's postcoital pain, and you need a little bit of
if you piss right afterward, you're going to have burning in your urethra caused by urethral spasm, and we've talked about Tacie. If you've been paying attention, you know what the treatment for that is. If you have burning in your urethra, not caused by chlamydia or gonorrhea
or biting or or something like that.
Do you remember what it is, Tace?
No.
Okay, you dump your junk in warm water, not hot water.
Oh yes, yes.
And if you do that, it's like a miracle. It works every time. Isn't that interesting?
Liam is learning things. He's taking notes. I can see.
Yeah.
Yo, Dr. Steve, I just called you about my voice and shit.
Okay.
I have to tell you, it's been a month. This happened on October 18th. I'm calling you today, Thursday, November 16th. Oh, wait, did I just break down that fourth wall? I'm not supposed to say that, right?
No, it's fine, dude. Everybody knows we are way behind posting shows and stuff.
I'm sorry, but yeah, today is November 16th.
We were taking calls from 2015, which we are going to again here today if we have time. But go ahead.
And today is Saturday, November 16th.
Okay.
How you doing?
Good, man.
Anyway, yeah, so it's been a month. Am I ever going to get my voice back?
Oh, okay. I think that is this guy. Let's see.
Hi, Dr. Steve. Let me just quick. About a week and a half ago on Wednesday, I overdosed on
Yes,
calcium
that's the guy.
channel blockers.
The same guy. Okay. We did this already.
A few other heart medications.
Okay, I think the interesting thing is we did this last week, and he was intubated, and he had some swelling of the vocal cords afterward. Listen to the difference in his voice, because this is the same guy.
Did it by accident. But I was taken to the hospital.
And then this is him now.
Yo, Dr. Steve, I just called you about...
Completely different guy.
Hey, let me ask you the first...
So, yes, your voice will go back to normal. We told him.
Or should, yeah. But that was the first phone call from 2015 or something?
No.
Or was it recent?
No, the
Fairly recent?
The one I just played, this one.
Yeah.
My voice and shit.
Well, he sounds good,
That was after this one.
Hi, Dr. Steve.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know that, but I was just
like
wondering.
no, it's like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, good. Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, because he said I'm calling you on November 16th. Right? That was it was 2023.
Got you.
Isn't that interesting? Though?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we told him that.
Hey,
we did.
Yeah,
and then,
it was with patience and do not overuse the vocal cords.
Yep. And we should give ourselves a bell for that, don't you think, Tace?
Let's see, it's
Well, this is for all three of us.
zero.
Give myself a bell.
No.
Get your hand off my penis!
I just love that drop. I know I'm going to overuse it and run it into the ground, but it's too good.
Hey, Dr. Steve, Forrest here.
Hey, man.
Great, how are you?
Oh, wait. Sorry. God, every time I mess it up. Let's try it again. Okay.
Hey, Dr. Steve, Forrest here.
Hey, Forrest, how you doing, man?
Great, how are you?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
I was just wondering, I had a question about energy drinks.
Yes.
I won't say the brand name, but there's one in particular.
Hyperphysics.
One of the more popular ones that I enjoy.
Oh, that's okay. It's not hyperphysics. That would probably be Celsius.
Buy the sugar-free version, but it still has all those other
chemicals in it like taurine and whatnot.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering how bad is it for me to drink those, maybe 1 or 2 a week. I used to drink them every day, but heard it could cause diabetes or diabetes. So just curious, should I give it up altogether?
The funny thing is that I used to think the taurine was just bullshit. They all have taurine in them. But taurine is has been touted as the new fountain of youth. Go ahead. Yeah.
I want to follow up on that because after that call we had a couple weeks ago, I got some.
Yes.
And I've been taking it every day, and I think it does make a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
I swear to, I like it.
I cannot if I take taurine and I take my modafinil for my sleep, for my narcolepsy, and then also drink a Celsius, I feel like I'm crawling out of my skin. I think I could get by just taking the taurine by itself without taking the modafinil or anything else. It is, and 1,000 milligrams is way too much for me, so I started off on 500 milligrams. And there are some other effects of taurine. So
it's supposed to help with memory enhancement.
Yes.
I want to say brain function, maybe cognitive function.
Energy production. It helps the body process bile acid and stuff like that. But it is. There's some new data that shows that taurine has some other effects as far as anti-aging. And I'm not. Listen, I'm an empiricist. I really want to see this data, but it's an amino acid. It isn't going to hurt anything. As far as I'm concerned, unless it's just contraindicated for you.
Yeah, just don't take huge doses of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate energy drinks if you're staying under the sort of the lethal dose of caffeine.
Right.
And for that guy, he's doing it once or twice a week. I mean, everything in moderation, including everything in moderation. Blow it out your ass every once in a while. Have an extra energy drink. But I find them to be, some of them are pretty tasty. And, Tacie drinks 3 cups of coffee every day. And I think the amount of caffeine I'm getting is comparable to that. So, Yeah. Anyway, yeah, look at the label. Make sure there isn't anything in there that you can't have. Now, if it says coffee, green tea, guarana, and other stuff, they're just adding more and more caffeine in there.
Yeah.
It's different ways of just adding the same thing in so that they don't have to say, oh, this has, an excess amount of caffeine in it. Anyway.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful with energy drinks.
Oh,
but I think your body tells you, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah. You're right. And it does that for me, that's for sure. It's I can always tell when I've done a little bit too much because I just absolutely feel like my skin is just wants me to crawl out of it. Now, they do say on the interwebs and that, people can have trouble sleeping, obviously anxiety. Yeah, don't drink this stuff right before bed. But increased blood pressure. So if you have hypertension, just make sure that your energy drink is not making things worse for you. And that's real easy to do. Don't do it for a week. Get your blood pressure taken. And look at your other parameters like that, heart rate and stuff, and then go back to drinking your energy drinks and see if there's a difference in your blood pressure. Everybody can have a blood pressure cuff now. I have the little wrist cuff, and it's amazingly accurate. It costs next to nothing. Well, before we get out of here, Dr. Scott, what do you got from the Fluid family? By the way, if you want to join the Fluid family, it's usually around 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Before WATP starts, and you can just hang out with us at youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so we've gone from, Frosty Sunbird. Question, can you tell whether the cause of burning and very painful feet is diabetes or damage to the spine?
Oh, you take that one.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. Certainly, anytime you see it in both of the feet, you think it's going to be either a midline, which is the spine, which was what Frosty was asking, or diabetes. And certainly, if you have a history of diabetes, you'd lean more towards it being a diabetic neuropathy.
And the characteristics a little different too.
They are a little bit different, but there are a lot of tests you can actually run. You can test to see if one is diabetic. You can do an MRI on the spine, but you can have diabetes and have trauma to your spine and have a combo. And there are other things that cause neuropathies in the feet. I mean, chemotherapy can.
Right.
Certain other medications I won't mention can have been known.
You can mention them.
Certain statins can cause it. High doses can cause neuropathies. And even strangely enough,
Alcohol.
Dr. Steve, alcohol can do it, and even really thin fat pads on the bottom of some people's feet can have really thin feet, and that can make those feet really sensitive and excite those nerves, and they're just miserable.
Huh.
And typically it's in both feet too, so it's not just
thin fat pad
fat
sounds
pads.
like an oxymoron.
It does, doesn't it? So yeah, so that is certainly a pretty challenging thing to treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so diabetic neuropathy, you can have generalized, glove and stocking type neuropathy, but you can also get mononeuropathies with diabetes, where it's just one nerve rather than a whole bunch of nerves, and you can get a collection of those called mononeuropathy multiplex. It's very difficult to diagnose sometimes, where you'll have a bunch of different just single nerves that are messed up instead of all the nerves in the fingers and all the nerves in the feet.
Yep.
But it's usually characterized by numbness, pins and needles called paresthesias type pain. Mine feels like, and mine is not from diabetes, but it feels like if you take a pin cushion and you put the sharp pointy parts sticking out of the cushion instead of sticking into the cushion, they're sticking out of it, and then you just take that and then just rub it all over your toes. That's how mine feels.
That's great, yes.
Yeah. Now, there are nutritional supplements that you can take for those type things. Talk to your provider, but for the most part, glutamine, alpha lipoic acid, myoinositol, and gamma E are the big four. And if you go to drsteve.com and hit the menu, there is a thing for neuropathy sufferers there where I have all of those supplements and the data such as it is that goes with it. None of them are very good. Nobody's doing double-blind, placebo-controlled trials on these things because they can't make any money off of it.
No.
That is one problem with pharmacology for profit is you got to make a profit or you're not going to do the studies.
Yeah, but I would go the extra length to try to determine what the cause is, because if it is like an iatrogenic cause, if it is in fact a medicine causing it, you can sometimes change medications.
Correct.
And be better. If it is in fact a spine, a lot of times an epidural will turn that off completely. And it may not last forever.
No.
It may. Sometimes physical
That's why
therapy.
I'm walking.
Yeah, sometimes physical therapy.
Tell them what an epidural is if people don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, a lot of times for pain syndromes, if you go to a spine specialist or a pain medicine interventionalist, they'll stick a needle in the lower part of your back in your lumbar spine, in between the vertebra, and put a steroid in there, sometimes a little numbing agent in there, which takes away some of the swelling. And a lot of times makes a huge difference.
Worked for me for 6 months.
Yep.
Do you have the camera on him?
Yeah, it should be on him.
You do? Okay. All right. We're just a little delayed over here. I just want to make sure. I have to give you a grade at the end of this.
Oh, Lord. It's not going to be great.
Yeah, because it's showing that
I'm
it's
pretty
on
sure
me.
he'll get whatever mom says
Has
he'll
it
get.
been working the whole time?
I don't know.
I've been switching it.
You've been doing great, Liam. I'm
sure it's perfect.
I've never seen such great
If it's just been
camera
on
work.
me the whole time, it's perfect. Because it's all about me.
So work it up, Frosty, and if you have questions, let us know.
Yeah. Okay, doke. Is that it?
That's
all we
it.
got?
That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Well, thanks. Always go to Dr. Scott, Tacie. Liam, thank you for being here. Look forward to having you working in the studio with us going forward. Thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel. SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. On demand and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Say goodbye, Liam.
Oh, goodbye.